With it, Lila Native Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
Well, welcome today to another edition of Straight Talk with Joe to the Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. Shanan, what's going on? Shanan E. Jones.
Nothing much, Bishop. How you doing?
Man, Shanan, my shoulder hurting me, man. My shoulder hurting me today, man. I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
You get to picking up these little babies like yours. You get to
Yeah.
these little babies like yours. And
I know.
When you're older and you start trying to pick up little babies like you used to pick up. You throw your shoulder, your back out, and everything else, man. So
when you're middle aged and you live when you're middle aged and you live with a baby, your head get to hurting. That's what your head get to hurting.
you mean? So you saying your head is hurting?
Your head get to hurting, Bishop.
Oh man, I can't.
That's what gets to hurting.
I can't believe it, Shannon.
So how's it going, Bishop?
Man, everything's going well for me, man. God is good, and things are going really, really well. Even with all of the stuff that's going on.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. I'm sitting here, my ticker tape is going off as I'm sitting here to do the show, and just stuff is all kind of stuff is popping up. I mean, Donald Trump is good for media business, I'll tell you. But,
well, he's good for his media business because he's a media star. He's going to be on TV every day. Every day you're going to see him spending millions and millions, spending millions and millions of our dollars, tax dollars, for him to perform on TV. Millions of dollars. One of the things that you brought me an understanding of is that how many millions of dollars Donald Trump wastes on doing things, because every time he does something, you got to have all these staff people, all these people making all this money. I was just looking at and the reason when you talked about every time he fly the plane and how much it costs, right? And I was looking last night and talking about the Super Bowl when the Chiefs played, the Eagles, right? He went to the game. And how many millions of dollars, I think it was somewhat $1 million or 1 point something million dollars that was spent that one day just for him to go to the game and to have to bring the staff, fly the plane and all of that. When we got people that's hungry, we got people that, you're talking about cutting out so scared. That's waste right there. That's waste.
Bishop, when you go down to the Piccadilly, it's you and your wife, your cousin, maybe somebody else. When he goes to Piccadilly, it's the nuclear codes, it's 10,000 Secret Service agents, it's staff, it's national security, it's media, it's all of this stuff. All these people have to move with him, and it's very costly. Yeah, $1 million. In fact, the Situation Room is not in Washington; it's on the golf course down in Mar-a-Lago. Let him tell it, because every weekend he got a new situation. I don't know if he's gotten on the plane yet today, but it's like he does not live at the White House. It's as though he checks into a hotel, which might be cheaper to put the man in a hotel than it is to have him living in the White House. Then he flies home for the weekend. Like a congressman or something.
Well, Shannon, we're going to talk more about this, but we want to thank you guys so much for your comments. Thank you, Pastor DeWitt Smith. He's always watching the program and always giving comments. And Shannon, he said, thanks for that.
The great advice. Pastor T. DeWitt Smith.
Yeah, but he wanted me to make sure that you got that advice. They took good advice you gave in terms of buying Tesla stock after it went down. We need to invest.
Amen. You better get it.
He said, thank you.
You better get it. And God is allowing us to fund our movement.
Well, listen, Elon Musk, I'm telling you right now, I watch the Doge thing, but I'll talk about that later on the other side.
Hey, let me say this about that. The Commerce Secretary was on this morning, or last night they showed it this morning on MSNBC Morning Joe. Right. And he said, the Commerce Secretary, he said, if you don't get this stock now I know he's just pushing the stock for his friend, but he said you're going to be shooting yourself in a couple of years when that stock shoots back up, because you got them 2 astronauts that just came back. That's Tesla stock. That's SpaceX stock. So as people are dumping stock, mad at Elon Musk, buy the stock because you'll be able to sell it and dump it for good money. They dumping it now. They don't want to get burned. We should buy what they're dumping. When it goes back up, then we start dumping some of it and see if we don't be doing these shows, drinking virgin pina coladas, reading our Bible on the beach.
Well, I'm going to let you drink the virgin pina colada and read your Bible on the beach. I'm going to let you do it because I ain't going to tell them where I'm going to be at.
But you're going to be somewhere, is what I'm trying to say. Brought to you by Elon Musk. Amen. Thank you, Pastor Reverend Dr. T. DeWitt Smith, President T. DeWitt Smith, for making that known. Thank you, sir.
Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Straight Talk with Shanan and I. We want you to like the channel, subscribe to our channel, make comments, and share. If you have news and information, send it to Miss C at straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. Hey, subscribe to our channel now. The numbers are going up, and thank you for signing up and sharing with your friend. We'll be back on the other side. More
Hi, Miss C here with your 3-minute news blast, or more or less. Hey, Bishop Greg. Hey, Pastor Shannon. Hope you all are doing well today. Listen, I've got a few tidbits of news, community news I want to let you in on. On April 18, 2025 at 7:15 p.m., Restoration Christian Fellowship Center invites you to the 7 Last Sayings of Jesus Christ. Guest presenters include Reverend Asada Jefferson, First Lady Ann Walker, First Lady Stephanie Johnson, Deacon Lance Patterson, Minister Jerry Harper, Elder Sheila Gibson, and Minister Vashawn Walker. Restoration Christian Fellowship is located at 2451 Roosevelt Highway in College Park. Lorenzo Johnson is pastor. Operating under the theme Honoring Caregivers as Everyday Heroes and Angels on Earth, there will be a Caregivers Conference April 26, 2025 from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Zion Baptist Church, 165 Lemon Street in Marietta, Georgia. Guests include Dr. Bashir Easter, founder of Melanin Minded LLC, Dr. Lori James, founder of James M. Dixon Foundation for Alzheimer's Research and Support, and Chesley McNeil, award-winning meteorologist, and he's the conference host. There will be workshops, entertainment, memory screening, a continental breakfast, and lunch. And they're going to provide all of this free of charge. Now, everything is absolutely free, but you must register. And you can go online to register at ZBC, that's Z as in zebra, Z, B as in boy, C, Marietta.org/events. That's zbcmarietta.org/events. You can also call them at 770-427-8749. Now listen, if you would like for us to announce your event, it's easy. Just email it to us at straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. And try to send it in a timely fashion so we have time to announce it, okay? And listen, before we leave, there are 4 things I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to subscribe. I'd like for you to like us, and those buttons, you'll see them right down on the screen somewhere. And then I'd like for you to leave comments and, most importantly, share us. Don't keep Straight Talk News to yourself. Let everybody know what you know. Straight Talk News, we're here to stay with Bishop Greg Fann, the preacher man, and Pastor Shanan Jones. And we're going to see you next time. And in the meantime and in between time, may the Lord God bless you real good. Bye now.
Well, we're back on the other side with Miss C with news and information. Please get that news and information. Miss C said get it to her early so she can announce it. Send it. Don't. She's gonna get it on for you. She's gonna talk about what you're doing and getting that information out for the listening audience and the viewers of Straight Talk News. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just tell Miss C, hey, I got something I want to say. And Miss C will let us know, and we'll get you on. Shannon and I get you on. I want to say a good evening today to none other than Joe Hudson. Joe Hudson is talking about black businesses and how we need to build our black businesses and how we need to patronize our black businesses, right?
Black intellect.
Yeah, we do. Because Shannon and I will move from our previous conversation, but I think this is really Jim Crow 3.0. Segregation is back on the table thanks to Donald Trump and what they call it, the NDI, DNI, FBI.
DEI, FBI.
I'm just messing with you.
MOUSE.
With the DEI program and talking about segregation, talking about segregating us again. Lord have mercy, Jesus. I mean, I came through an era where when we came along, Dr. King had been assassinated, Kennedy had been assassinated, Malcolm had been assassinated, all these people had been killed, right? Medgar Evers, and we go on and on and on, and all the people had been killed. But when Dr. King was killed, looked like we're gonna come up with affirmative action. Johnson signed the bill in '67, no segregation, federal law against segregation. Here we go. Now here's Donald Trump saying, "Oh no, we're gonna do it through the UNI, you know what I'm talking about. Know that acronym? We got so many acronyms. But the diversity thing, they want to change it, because they talking about trans and they talking about gays, and they talking about black, whites, and we want to separate. You can't go in the same bathroom as you're this kind of person or this persuasion of a person. You can't go. You're gonna have to have separate restrooms and stuff. That's we're moving backward. We got to fight. Shannon, the problem with us is we'll act like stuff gonna go away. It's not going away. People have died and bled and died for us to have and enjoy the things that we're enjoying now and doing now. So we must fight and not allow for Donald Trump or anybody like Donald Trump to take us back. Because we keep telling we ain't going back, but we ain't fighting like we don't want to go back. we say we don't want to go back, but we ain't fighting like we don't want to go back, because a lot of our young people, you're not a young person anymore, but you're that age. No. You big papa now. You too young person no more. You're not hanging out to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning no more. You're not going to them shaky booty clubs and all that stuff anymore. You're not doing.
Well, I guess I was always old, because my friends will tell you I never hung out to 2 or 3 in the morning anyway. I'd be in bed, my stocking cap on.
So you didn't hang out with Goody Mob and all them?
No. Do the show. Hey, do the show. Go to the room. Y'all go party. Do the show. Go to the bus. Y'all go party.
But but the issue is that our young people, they can't really identify with the struggle, the real struggle, as to what brought us and helped us to get to the point. Your father, I know you talk many times about Horace, and Horace is, his life path and his struggle as a young man, and what we had to go through, our generation had to go through, the baby boomers had to go through, but we benefited from the work that Dr. King and Abernathy and Joseph Lowry and we can go on, James Earn, we can go on. I'm talking about local people now, but there's some national people who are in the movement, but these are local people that we knew that really stood and fought for us to get to where we are today, and to see us slipping back because our young people can identify with this segregation that we had to go through. I only remember the part of not being able to sit down at a counter at H.L. Green, which is no longer anymore, Wood Road, which is no longer anymore. Those were stores that we went into, but as kids, we had to not sit at the lunch counter. We used to wonder why we had to go to this certain bathroom, as a kid, but we never knew about that. But when we got to be teenagers, and then as teenagers and getting ready to come out of school in 68, 69, 70, and 66, those years when things were changing and they were hiring black people. Now they don't want to hire black people. They want to do away with that program that allowed for blacks and others to even go to school, because all these fundings and all the things that they're doing to hurt people, not only black people, but to hurt people of different ethnicities. So, it's really sad. I know that your ticker tape jumping off. I see it jumping back there, but I don't have much.
Well, the ticker tape, I had to calm the ticker tape down, but to your point, I'm just thinking about the 19th century writer and philosopher George Santayana, who said that a people that don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. And for those that think that, it's almost as though you have a generation of young people and African American young people that were hatched from an egg instead of born of a woman. In other words, like they come from a place and they don't see that they are directly connected to our historicity, that they are directly connected to our history and the sojourn, that has led us to this day, the bloody path that we've had to go through, the trail of tears that we in the African and African American context have had to go through. But it's as though they're a hatched egg. That they forget that egg comes from somewhere. Like that it just hatched and they came out this new people, this new creation. And they're not connected to it. And so, yeah, Santayana is really, really correct in the sense that if you don't know it, then it's almost as though the universe has to teach it to you. If you don't know it and you're not on guard for it, so that when it comes up. So, some folk are looking at Elon Musk and they don't, and looking at what's going on with Department of Defense and they don't get it. Pastor T. DeWitt Smith and you and others are highly sensitive to this because you've lived through it. You understand it and you understand the connection. Not only that, but you preach the stories that the ancestors told you. So it's been passed down. It was nothing for my grandfather to sit up and talk about folks being lynched in Alabama. It was nothing for him to talk about a friend being lynched. It was nothing for him to talk about having to look away when a white woman looked at him, not to make eye contact with her, living in this systemic oppression and repression. It was nothing for him. He talked about it as though it was. So to see these kinds of dog whistle things coming back up, you know it when you see it and when you smell it. The problem is, the difference is, the disconnect is that you and your generation heard the story, internalized the story, connected it to what you were living through and continued. This generation, which many of them were born when the president was an African American man, and his wife, the first lady, was a black woman, and his two daughters were black girls in the White House with the first lady's mother, black mother. So they came out of that. They don't see, they're not sensitive to the fact that just 8 years post that, or what is this now, 12 years post that. This is 12 years post an Obama administration starting 2008 to where we are now, 12 years later. They can't begin to even imagine that what is creeping up now has completely erased and is erasing everything that that it took to get Trump to beat, to get Obama to be in that seat. And then even some of the that Obama did while he was in that seat, some of those policies, we're going back in a month and a half. This country has come back 70 years. 70 years. That's almost your lifetime. You are 5 years old again. How old are you? 70? What are you, 73? What are you?
No. You're right. I'm 5 years old. 4 going on 5. Yeah.
So you 74. So they're taking you back. So what did the country look like when Greg Fann was 4 or 5 years old? That's where we are now. And it's masked by multimedia, social media, and all the entertainment and all the other stuff. And folk don't see that the country runs on policies. It don't run on what you think and what you feel. It's backed by a constitution, but if you got judges that are going to allow policies to come back and take the country back, that's what's governing the country. So it takes a moment for that to catch up with folk. But when they go to get the Pell Grants and all that stuff, and they can't afford to send their kids to school anymore, when $400 million in an instant has been pulled from Columbia University, causing them to have an emergency policy meeting today on a Friday. This is serious.
No. But when you say that, when you talk about Columbia, which is an elitist school, right? And you have these schools that are the Institution for Black Colleges and HBCUs colleges. What kind of funding they're taking from them with DEI, right? Because under DEI you can't do this for blacks. You can't do this because you can't talk black. You can't do this. So what are you doing? What are you doing? You're taking monies away. Our kids want to go to college, but you're dumbing our society down because you're taking people with intellect who could be a contributing factor to our society, to the future of this country, Forget the color of their skin. Is their ability to enhance and move this country forward. Because right now we're facing a war. Right now we're facing an economic war. We're facing a military war. We're facing a worse war on poverty than we already have. We're facing that right today. In our face, and people sitting back. Are you willing to fight? Well, so we're gonna vote them out in 4 more years. We're gonna vote them out in 2 more years. But if you're gonna get people that's gonna be there, that ain't gonna stand up, that ain't gonna fight, that ain't not gonna speak up, but just gonna count out to what's going on, really, I looked at it and said, I don't support Democrats or Republicans. I support people who support my issue. I say that all the time. I need a Democrat or Republican. I know people try to pull me in a party, but I'm not in a party. I'm in the people party. That's the party I'm in. The people looking out for, as the Bible said, for the least, the less, the lost, and the left out. And if you heard in the least, the less, the lost, and the left out, you're not in the party that I'm in. You're not in the party that I'm in. Because we got people who sit up there that were Democrats who voted for bad policy. You talked about policy. They voted to support bad policy under the Demon Dome in Georgia, the act dealing with insurance company, Ribbon Elite insurance company. All these things, and I'm getting mixed up with my words, I know I am, but the reality of it is these things are really happening here in Georgia. Right here in Georgia, we got Democrats who carry the title of Democrats who voted for things that's not going to help us but going to hurt us under that Demon Dome. Politics are local. Our local politics is bad. We're looking at what Don Trump doing. Look at what we're doing here in our own state. Look at what we're doing in our own cities, our own counties. How we are not looking out for the people who are here. You talked about it down there at CBC. You always tout this at CBC. How many billions of dollars that's sitting in the reserve in the state just sitting there. And that's just
16 billion.
That's just one pot of money that's sitting. Then there's another pot of money that's sitting.
$2 billion.
That's sitting there. That join interest that's helping some bank that not one black bank has any part of that. No money is given to Capital City. No money is given to a black bank. It's just sitting there. Nobody's speaking out about these things. These are our dollars. They're using our dollars against us, and we're sitting up there and we're going along with the foolishness.
Well, to that point, Mike Murphy from Cobb County, who is a black Republican, who's a faithful member of
Yeah.
Concerned Black Clergy, has been fighting to get some of that surplus, 16 billion in one pot, another reserve on top of that reserve of 2 billion. After there's already a threshold amount we don't even know what that billion is. So it could be upwards to 20 to 25 billion to 30 billion dollars. So he's trying to get some of that to go into black banks. He's talking to Kemp, his party mate. He's talking to Republicans to try to get that put into African American banks. But you know, while this state is not doing business with black banks, but State Senator Jason Estevez, who was with us last week at Concerned Black Clergy, your friend and mine, said that the state has given a $2 billion tax credit to Rivian, but hasn't put a dollar in an African American bank. And while we're looking, while we fighting all this stuff, that's some of the stuff that we need. That when folks say, "Well, I don't want to," we don't need to be talking to Burt Jones. We don't need to be talking to. We just need to be outside with Bullhorn. Hell no! Buy Tesla stock and go meet with the governor and the lieutenant governor who got. Why would you not meet with a man with $20 billion? Somewhere I read that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Go get that money and put that money in our banks. Go get that money and put that money in ITC and Morehouse and Morris Brown and Clark and Spelman. Go get that money and put that money in black private schools and black businesses. We got to, while we're fighting and organizing and all that, we got to be smart as our granddaddy was too, and be able to get that money from Mr. Charlie while he's running around playing that. Our granddaddy was smarter than Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie thought, and Grandmama, they were smarter than this. Mr. Charlie thought that they was just some ignorant N-words. But they did what they had to do, and they survived off Mr. Charlie, and they did business they created our black commerce off of what Mr. Charlie tried to do with segregation. And we gave it all up. But guess what? We better get it back again. Because if we don't, we got a movement now that's trying to save whiteness and white supremacy and suppress everything else and everybody else.
And Shanan, this conversation is a conversation that's needed, but it's also got to have some action. See, what the Bible said, faith without works is what? Dead. So
it's dead.
We got to have some action. People got to stop this thing about, I don't like this person, I don't like that person because this person he does that, that person does that, that one's too loud,
right?
That one this, that one. But we got to get behind people with action who are talking about doing things like Reverend Barber. I mean, doing things with the moral majority movement. We got to get behind those people and say, we're not going to do this no more. We're going to stand up and we're going to fight. We're going to fight back. We got to fight back on every front because they're attacking us on every front. We got to fight back. Now, if we lose, it's because we didn't fight. I would rather fight and have scars because I fought than to just lay down and let them just beat me. I never would get in a fight if I was a physical fight. I was a lover. I really didn't get in a fight. But physical fights, I didn't get in no physical fights. I really did.
Okay.
Maybe one or two. But I mean, just really physical fights. I'm going to lay down. Boo game on me, and then I'm going to go along with the boo game. No, you ain't booing me. You ain't scaring me. We act like we're afraid to who lost their job, and supported him. Oh, we all right, but now they're in the soup too with everybody else. They're in the soup with everybody else. When there's a fight, and John Lewis, and I'll just say what John Lewis said. When it's a fight and it's a worthy fight, it's good trouble. Get into good trouble. We waiting on somebody else to get in good trouble. Mouth, Shanan, he too young, he got too much mouth, and I mean they just this and they just that. But the reality of it is who's speaking up, who's standing up, who's speaking up, who's standing up, who's coming to CEC on Mondays and being a part of a conversation and ready to take action with a clergy with a candle. Because we holding the light of a candle. That's what a candle, we're holding up a light for the world. And what there's a song saying, hold your light. Let your light shine over. Let your light shine over the world. We're walking in the light. The sign is so bright. Let the light shine over the world. We as ministers, we as preachers, we as lay people, we as people believe stand back anymore and afford for these things that are happening to the people and stay, because we in the silo. People get mad. They got mad with Jose Williams when Jose Williams was telling me it's time to get in the fight. You want to be a benefactor of something? Get in the fight. Get in the fight, because it is a fight. We're losing too much. We're losing too much. And
we're losing.
What you said, it's been a month and a half. 70 years.
A month and a half. 70 years back. 70 years. So imagine where we're going. Martin, that German pastor, Martin Niemöller, said first they came for the socialists, and I didn't speak out because I was not a socialist. Next they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I wasn't a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And you know, what really bothers me is you get these, what Reverend Al Sharpton calls these 15-minute activists that pop up because something happened. They've been around for about 15 minutes and gonna stick around for about 15 minutes, and and when something happens to them, they get so upset. The whole world, they want everything to stop and everybody to get behind their movement and move them, but you haven't seen them. You got some folk that's running for office.
Come on,
you ain't seen them. Come on. Preachers that are running for office, for high office in the state, and ain't been to a concerned black clergy meeting. Ain't been to a Coalition for the People's Agenda meeting. Ain't been to a South Fulton, and some of them have churches in South Fulton, and ain't been by a South Fulton Ministerial Alliance meeting, or been nowhere around there. And now they want you to elect them to be. No, we are in a critical fight right now. The song right now that we ought to be singing, and the people that we ought to be backing are those people, as you said, who are ready to fight. The song right now is "Oh Freedom, oh Freedom, oh Freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free." It's time out for all of these 15-minute activists and where they come from, politicians. That can't nobody tell you who they are, what their track record is, or what they've done for our cause and our community and our children and our elders and our women and our young men and our girls. They've done nothing, and they want to now have the trappings of power, but they don't want to empower our community. It's time out for that. Right now, God has brought us Bishop, to this moment.
Yes.
Where we have to stand and bring together all of our agency, our intellectual, our political, our business, our judicial, everything, our arts, everything. We are in a movement moment. And you're fighting against you, and I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna shut up. You're fighting against a movement that is fighting for its life. White supremacy is spiking because white life is declining and brown life is inclining. And the numbers are changing, black and brown life in America, which is why we got to study what's going on with so many prenatal deaths that we're seeing. We got to study that and see what's going on, because that was not an issue that we were having in our community. But right now we're starting to see infant mortality rates go up. So that's something that we have to study, and what's going on. We need to look at what's happening to begin, because all of this stuff, I don't think, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know COINTELPRO. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know what they've done to harm and to limit black life and to stop the rise of a black messiah in this country. What we need to do is we need to organize and we need to fight. The church, the black church, when I say the church, I'm talking about our church. Not talking about anybody else's church. Yeah, we're the church Catholic, amen. Universal church, amen. I'm talking about the black church. I'm talking about that protesting Protestant church that stood up and fought for us. I'm talking about the black church. The black church, and many, not all, but far too many, have tried to be too relevant with society instead of trying to be trying to be over and against society. So what we have seen is it's like a parent that when their child wants to dye their hair pink, the parent dyes their hair pink. The child wants to wear ripped up jeans, the parent puts on ripped up jeans. The child want to put earring in their nose and on the cheek and in the ear, and the parent gets earring in the nose and the cheek and the ear. And the child.
Shannon, I think something happened to your mic. Your mic went awry because I think somebody said you was too hot. Go though.
Let me come through. But everything that the child wants to listen to a certain time, so the parent throws away the sacred music, throw away the gospels, throw away the jazz and the blues and the richness of our legacy and our history, and we try to relate. Then the child gets disrespectful. And now you want to try to correct the child. But you look just like the child. And you act just like the child. And you talk just like the child. And you're starting to think just like the child. And now you're trying to grab the moral high ground when you've sunk so low from where your moral and physical and mental and spiritual and authority responsibility was supposed to be. And I think that's even happened to the Democratic Party as well.
Well, I'm going to leave it like this, Shannon. Our time is well spent, and we got a lot to say because we fed up to here. To hear. Our late friend, the Reverend Frederick Douglass Taylor, the song that he said was "Oh freedom, oh freedom. Let the people take a stand, because there's so much destruction in the land. Let the people take a stand. And it's left up to you, me, us, to take a stand. Because if we do not, a people united can never be defeated. But a people that's divided already defeated. Join us next week right here on Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. Don't forget to subscribe to our thing. Okay, go on.
Bishop.
Yeah, go
let's
on.
hear. But Tesla stock went up today, $12.45 just today. It went up towards, we told them last week when it went up $12.45 today to $248.71. They got to play. Go ahead, Bishop. Take us out of this.
Well, I would talk about that Tesla stock, but I'm going to talk more about it because that's why they brought them people back to work, because they drive Teslas. Hey, Don't forget to join us next week around the world with news and information right here on Straight Talk with Joe Tudor, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bring those numbers up. We love to have you on the program, to be a guest. Send it to Miss C at straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. Send us your news and information. Won't you do that? Like and subscribe, make comments, and share. Until next week, it ain't been nothing but what? Straight Talk.
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fann at FANN922@comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.